Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to start with a bit small.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Well,
I
at the
will get the
moment,
first one.
they're saying here 66% of the people who are watching are saying no to what would be traditional Valentine's Day, and 34% are saying yes. So that's quite interesting. Oh boy. Thanks, Jonathan. That looks gorgeous. I'm in love with this already. So send it over.
Well, when you asked me to do this and you said, well, we want to have some commercial things, I thought, well, what did we sell a lot in the shop? And this is a really good example of what we sold a lot. It's really cheap wooden shape. You can also have a square, or you can also have round shapes, more things like this. It's a very cheap base. So things like this you can have as well. And this is something that we did a lot in our shop. We made a lot of frames in advance. So we had a huge pile of frames already waiting for us to put flowers in. So if you have really busy days, you only need to put the flowers in. So it saves you a lot of time when you're like really high in all your orders and the people that are in the shop. So we normally had like 20 of these already made. We had 2 of them filled with flowers in the shop. And as soon as we sold them, you could just put some flowers in and then you can sell it again really quickly. Of course, it's some time to make it, but if you do it in advance, it can save you a lot of time. Sure. And it can save you a lot of hours working late.
Yeah, because not everyone is busy all the time through the year. You've got opportunities during the year to stockpile materials that you can put together when times are busy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, good. And so this is a wooden base.
This is like the medium size, but if I will show you these as well.
Okay.
Because these are like the little small commercial.
Oh, ones. I love. Ah. Oh, so, very commercial.
So what we always did in the shop, and this will be a little bit the thing I want to talk to you about during this live stream, we always had like the wow things in the shop, a really big wow thing. Of course, this example you can make much bigger, but we always sold a lot of the small things because we had a really big thing in the shop. People are talking about it, they say, oh, it looks amazing. And then we had like a table full with like smaller varieties, smaller brothers and sisters of the big one. And we sold a lot of the small ones, and then not only one, but they just bought 2 or 3 and they gave it also to their neighbor or to their mother and their mother-in-law. So we always called it satellite sale. So you have a big item in your shop and it takes the attention of the clients. But of course, not everybody can have a big thing in their house, or it's maybe too expensive for them. And then they will easily buy the smaller ones.
So we've got there the wooden base, and I see you've got glass tubes in, yeah?
Yeah, a couple of glass tubes.
Are the glass tubes glued in position or are they drilled in position?
No, I have fixed them with the aluminium wire, or I've used the copper wire. You can do it in several ways, I think.
Yeah.
But
these are great. I think they would be great for restaurants as well, Hanneke.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit lower. I will put the small ones out. I will show you how the base is made, because this is something very, very commercial for the shop. So this is actually the base. It's just a really simple wooden shape. It can be round, it can be anything you like. And then I drilled in a piece of really thick aluminium wire. I use it a lot, the thick aluminium wire, because my next best friend is the drilling machine. And this is the really thick aluminium wire. So these wires are, for me, often the base of a frame or a structure or something like this, because it's really nicely bendable. It's really flexible, but in the same way, it's really strong as well. So every time I'm going somewhere, I always bring some thick aluminium wire. And of course, I want it to be very beautiful and elegant. So I covered it with the drilling machine, with the beautiful bullion wire, big bullion wire. So it looks more elegant. So this is the base you start with. And then I made some really lovely hearts. So I make these myself.
Yeah.
Also something you can very nicely make in advance. So if you're really busy, it can be very good if you have a lot of these already made in stock.
Sure.
Of course, we have Valentine's Day now, but I also make a lot of leaf shapes with this technique. It's a very nice technique and it looks really delicate and it's all handmade. So every heart has a bit different shape, but I really like to show people that it's handmade.
Yeah, it's individual, which is part of the bonus these days. And actually they would be great for weddings as well.
Of course.
Beautiful. I love it.
So you can see it go, it's really easy. And I don't want to have a lot of straight lines. So I want to keep some movement in it and some nice lines.
Yeah.
And I think the Scabiosa scoops are really beautiful in this kind of work. I've also used some talinum in them, some talinum long john. And of course, if you want to keep it a bit cheaper, because I have beautiful fern heads here as well, you can use some cheaper flowers as well. This is just to give you an idea, but you can make like 1,000 of varieties with this.
Yeah, actually in the little video about the varieties from Danziger of the Scabiosa, you could sell that girl. I think that girl was actually in love with Scoop. I think she could have probably dated Scoop the way she was going on.
Yeah.
Certainly looked that way.
Yeah. So I thought I was going to show you how you make the hearts, because these questions will, I'm sure they will come.
Yeah.
So it's better just to make it. So I make my own shape out of the aluminium wire. I teach a lot of frames and technical masterclasses, and never expect your first heart or your first leaf to be really beautiful. You have to practice it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you have to fold it really tight in the middle first, and then you make a nice loop here. And many florists in Holland, they say, well, I don't have time to do this and it's too expensive. But if you practice it a lot, you get faster and faster in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you make it in advance, it can save you a lot of time. And I think it's still the case that you need to be different as a florist, and you need to show people what you can do and have special things in your shop.
Yeah, yeah. You have to stand out from the crowd. You have to be different from the supermarkets. You have to be an individual, for sure.
Yes, I totally agree. So we have the bullion wire. So we're going to use the crotching technique. Okay. Many people think you have to like cover it like this, but the aluminium wire is very slippery. So that doesn't work. So we take off a lot of the bullion wire. And the hearts are a little bit bigger than the leaves I normally make, but I'm not sure how many you can have from one roll of bullion wire. But when I make the small leaves, I can make 30 leaves out of one roll of bullion wire. So it's quite a lot.
Good economical stuff, says a Scotswoman to a Dutch woman.
Well, you know, if you use these a lot in your shop, you need to know how much money goes in.
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
And always make sure you calculate something for your exclusivity.
Yeah, yeah.
Very important. So if you use the crushing technique, you can just fold it around your heart shape. So it's quite easy and quite fast, like this. So you have it closed with the bullion wire, but you can also use them open like this. You can use both of them. You can make a mix, or you can just, this is a bit faster, of course, but I really like it with the bullion wire. So I always try to fix some extra bullion wire around it to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I think techniques are very important, not only for me because I'm doing a lot of competitions, but also for shop work. Because what we did a lot of times in our shop, we had like a hotel, we had a doctor, we had a dentist, we had people who had arrangements every week. And we had a lot of these arrangements like going everywhere. So we used an arrangement like this, sometimes 10 times before we sold it in the shop. So that's why I think it's really worth the time and to give it a lot of attention to make it perfectly in a technical way, because you have to move it around a lot.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
it is some time to make it, but if you can put it in several companies, then you get the money out of it.
Absolutely true.
We did a lot in the shop.
Some of the biggest names I know do that as well. We've got a question here. Oh my goodness, someone is on from Peru. Oh, Paddington Bear's home, but put that to one side. Hi, Hanneke from Karina. About how much bullion wire does it take to cover the thick aluminium wire in that single piece, for example? So that's actually covering the aluminium wire.
I think I always use aluminium wire. Well, this is the silver one, but sometimes you can also spray paint it in pink.
Yeah.
So then you don't need to use a lot of bullion wire, because I think it's fine if you don't cover it totally. But I think it for all these inside, it was less than one roll of bullion wire.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and Tina Koskinen's on from Finland. Hi, Tina. Okay, great. I love this. And so everyone should have their electric drill to hand very quickly. Do you know, you could be sitting making them while you're watching the television at night. You know, you could be making your love hearts when you're doing nothing else.
Yeah, I always have my favorite Netflix series on, and I'm sitting on the couch making a lot of the hearts.
Yeah.
Leaves, but
That's
also
brilliant.
the drilling machine technique. I do it a lot sitting on the couch. When the children are sleeping, I have made miles and miles of them. But this is also not only for shop work, but also for my freelance work. I always make a lot of these things in advance, because when I'm really busy, it saves me a lot of time. I can just directly use them for framework. So it's also, as a freelancer, really good to work in advance.
Yeah, I mean, the correct way to work would be to stockpile things so they're ready to rock when you need them, you know, because
it's
actually
also good for your mind. You know, you have a lot of things already organized, and it saves you lots of stress and time.